Schools are built to feel safe, bell schedules, morning announcements, hall passes, and pop quizzes. But what happens when that safety shatters? When a voice comes over the intercom and says, "This is a lockdown, this is not a drill." Time freezes, doors lock, and suddenly your classroom becomes your hiding place, your shelter, your possible grave. These are 3 true stories of lockdowns that took a terrifying turn. Stories of strangers in the halls, shadows at the door, and moments where silence meant survival. Stick around until the end, because the final story is the most unsettling of all. The Janitor's Warning. Emily was 17, a junior in a small high school nestled in a snowy Wisconsin town. It was one of those quiet winter days where everything felt half asleep. Her English teacher had given up on teaching for the last hour and was playing a black and white film. Most of the class were either doodling, texting under their desks, or half watching the screen through drooping eyelids. The fire alarm suddenly screamed. Everyone jumped, more annoyed than alarmed. "Another drill," someone groaned. Their teacher didn't even seem concerned. "All right, guys, coats on, single file," she said with a sigh. Emily shuffled into the hallway with her classmates. That's when she saw him, the janitor. He came around the corner at a full sprint, his gray uniform soaked with sweat, eyes wild and panicked. "Get back inside, now!" His voice cracked with desperation. Their teacher didn't hesitate. She yanked the classroom door shut, turned the lock, shut off the lights, and screamed at everyone to get down. Emily crawled under a desk near the window, her heart racing. The air felt heavier, thicker, like the entire school was holding its breath. Then, silence. Unnatural silence. Minutes passed. Then, the footsteps. Slow, deliberate, hard rubber soles striking linoleum. Emily's heart pounded louder than the sound outside. The steps stopped, right outside their door. Click. The door handle turned, just slightly, then again. Someone was testing it. Tap, tap, tap. 3 soft knocks. No words, no voice asking to be let in. Just presence. A shadow moved under the door crack. Then, it was gone. They waited for nearly an hour before they were cleared to leave. The entire school was searched. A man had entered through a side door that hadn't latched properly. He was carrying a weapon. He had no connection to the school, no name on file, no explanation. But they found one thing in his pocket: a folded up map of the school layout and a list of room numbers. Emily's class was on it. The Stranger in the Gym. Jaden was a freshman in a city high school. He hated gym class. Too much noise, too many people, and always being picked last. That day felt normal. They were halfway through a basketball scrimmage. Whistle blows, sneakers squeak, the usual chaos of adolescence. Then the coach's walkie-talkie crackled to life. The sound cut through the noise like a knife. He walked over to it, pressed a button, and froze. His face drained of color. He dropped the ball he was holding and blew the whistle 3 times in quick succession. "Everyone, locker room. Now no questions." Kids were confused, but something in the coach's voice made them move fast. They rushed into the boys' locker room. The door slammed shut, lights off. But Jaden noticed something. The back door used for emergency exits and letting in air was wide open. "Should we close it?" someone whispered. The coach didn't answer. He just pressed his back against the main door, breathing heavily. That's when they heard it. Creak. The sound of a door slowly swinging open out in the gym. Footsteps. Not rushed, not panicked, just casual. Soft, slow steps on the polished wooden floor. Then silence. Jaden leaned slightly toward the air vent that looked out into the gym. What he saw made him freeze. A man, maybe in his mid-40s, was standing at center court. No school badge, no staff ID, just staring at the locker room. He slowly dropped a duffel bag at his feet, then knelt, unzipped it. Out came gloves, a roll of duct tape, what looked like plastic cuffs. He didn't even look around. He just stood back up, adjusted his hoodie, and walked toward the back door. The coach held his finger to his lips. Tap, tap, tap. Someone knocked at the emergency exit. 3 knocks. Wait. 3 knocks again. They didn't move, barely breathed. Eventually, the knocks stopped. Police sirens in the distance. Later, they found the man in the school parking lot, trying to leave on foot. He claimed he had come to meet someone, but the name he gave didn't exist. The duffel bag was full of restraints, rope, and a bottle of chloroform. He had no criminal record, no connection to any student. He disappeared from custody 2 weeks later during transfer. The substitute. Rachel had only been subbing for a year. She was filling in for a 4th grade teacher at a quiet suburban school. The classroom was decorated with snowmen, spelling bees, and paper chains. It felt peaceful, wholesome. Just after lunch, the lockdown alarm sounded. Not a drill, not even a voice, just a robotic screech echoing through the halls. Rachel did what she'd been trained to do. Locked the door, closed the blinds, turned off the lights. The kids, all 12 of them, gathered in a tight cluster under the reading corner. The classroom fell into silence. That's when Rachel realized her phone was in her purse, on the other side of the room. She didn't dare move. Then, a voice. Software calm, feminine. "Please let me in. It's Ms. Carter." The voice was muffled just outside the door. Rachel didn't know any Ms. Carter. The voice came again. "Let me in. You know me. I just need to get my students." The kids were staring at Rachel, wide-eyed. Something about the voice was wrong, too even, too rehearsed, like it had been practiced. Rachel stood slowly and peered through the door's narrow window. Standing there was the woman, mid-30s, blonde, pale, smiling, but not blinking. She didn't knock. She didn't move. She just stood there looking into the room like she was waiting for someone to make a mistake. Then Rachel saw it. Her badge was printed on paper. Just a fake name. No photo. Rachel backed away. A few minutes later, an announcement came over the intercom. "Do not open any doors. Someone is impersonating school staff." Security footage later showed the woman entering through a loading dock using a badge taped to a clipboard. She had wandered through the halls for 23 minutes before reaching Rachel's door. She was never identified, never arrested. She simply vanished. The last footage of her shows her standing in the parking lot, looking up at the sky and smiling. These stories aren't meant to entertain, they're warnings. Because sometimes the monsters don't hide in closets or under beds, they walk your halls, wait outside your doors, wear stolen smiles. But these stories are also about instinct, quick thinking, and the unseen heroes who keep others alive. If you've ever lived through something like this, a moment where your gut told you something was wrong, tell your story in the comments. Your voice matters. If these tales chilled you, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss another haunting tale from the ordinary. Until next time, lock the door, listen closely, and trust your fear.